Hi everybody, this is Makeup Dr. Cherie. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Devotional Diva. Today is July the 14th, 2017. It's Friday! So it's been just a very emotional, rocky Friday for me. I have been really praying, and I'll tell you about it in a second. I want to remember to do my Psalms 19:14, which says, "May these words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing in your sight, Lord, my rock, my redeemer." So I would like to say that just to remind myself that I'm not doing this for my own personal glory. And just coming to you today really real, like no makeup or anything, just because I've been crying all day. And I've been praying to the Lord for breakthrough on some issues, personally and financially, that sort of thing. And then I realized after I got through praying that I thought, well, if the Lord doesn't come through, then I have my one male friend who will sometimes help me out financially. And then the thought dawned on me, like, and this is what I'm still praying at, just like, okay, so who am I putting my trust in? Am I really trusting God? Because I'm saying, well, I know you can do it, God, but just in case you can't. So I'm not really trusting God there. I'm trusting this other person. And they're not necessarily a bad person, but it was not good to hang on to this relationship because it was unhealthy to begin with. I knew I shouldn't stay in it. I got out, which was so much better for me. But when you're still accepting money from somebody like that, when you're not in a relationship, and let me preface this by saying, he's not taking care of any kids or anything like that. So that would be different if it was child support or something like that, but it's not. And I was trusting more on him than I was on God. So when God put that on my heart and convicted me to do that, it was really difficult for me. I mean, like, I was literally in tears and I was scared to death. My stomach hurt because he was always sort of a safety net for me. I didn't like to have to ask him for anything, but I knew that if I needed to, that he would help me out. And what I needed to do was to close an account so that he would not be able to just drop money in there to help me out anymore. And that was scary to me, really scary to me. And so I talked to my mom about it, and we really prayed about it, and she was like, girl, if this is what the Lord is having you do, then you need to do that. And so I went ahead and closed it today, and I was reading some verses to help me strengthen my resolve. Psalms 46:1 says, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. So I need to know that I can trust in him even when I'm in trouble and that he's here for me. And another thing, there was another Psalms 146:3 in the ESV. Put not your trust in princes, in a son of man, in whom there is no salvation. So I'm trusting this person and not the Lord, of whom I said that I trust and who is the creator of everything. But I'm just like, Lord, just in case you can't work it out, I'm going to stick with this guy over here because he's got little ends. When really, I need to be completely trusting in the Lord and not just some guy who doesn't necessarily have, who has ulterior motives. And he has never had, like, requested I do anything for that income, but there's still that kind of little expectation there and still just kind of hanging on to the relationship a little bit. And I just need to let that completely go. And that's very difficult for me. And even when closing the account, the person with the bank was very, very sweet, very kind. And of course, she's doing her job to say, hey, don't close it out. You can still keep it open and blah, blah, blah. And I told her what I was doing. And then she said, oh, girl, I completely understand. I've been through the same thing. We're like twins. She was so sweet and kind and just said that she had to trust in the Lord too, and everything worked out. It was just something I really needed to hear. And of course, she invited me after I got that situation taken care of to come back to that bank. And just because she was so sweet and so kind, I believe that I will go back to their bank again because it is a really great bank. Nothing against the bank at all, but it was just that connection with him, that he had that account to be able to put money in, and then I was sort of still attached to him and trusting him too much. So I just need to believe that in Philippians 4:13, in the New King James Version, it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And like I said, it's still very emotional. I'm still just trying to breathe through it. And I'm like exhausted because there was so much emotion and so much crying. And I'm just, proclaiming that I trust in the Lord and to guide me and to lead me in the right direction. So I'm stepping out on faith and not trying to cling to a relationship that was toxic. And it's like these people aren't necessarily bad. I'm not saying he's bad, but it was just not a good relationship for me. And I was still kind of hanging on to that financially. And so that's difficult for me. It's a difficult thing to admit. And I just, stepping out, I don't know if anybody else has been through the same thing. If you have, please put comments below. But thank you so much for listening. God bless. There's another Psalms 23, which is one of my favorites. And the first verse is, "The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want." And that's so beautiful that He's going to take care of you. He leads you beside the still waters, makes you lie down in green pastures, just that you will be comforted and safe, and comfortable and safe with Him in your soul. And so I am trying to trust in that. And I won't keep you too long. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Makeup Dr. Cherie for another episode of Devotional Diva. Have a wonderful weekend.